Whoop, whoop. Happy Friday, friends. Thank you guys to everyone that could join us. I know Amy's internet is in and out, and she's got a kiddo, and Chris is driving. But thank you guys for being here, and we may end up with more. So I have a few announcements, some exciting things to talk about before we get into the meat of the call. I just made a funny thing happen on my screen. Whoops, sorry. Hold on. All right. Anyway, so number one, I want to announce Rachel as an official Emerald. I'm so excited. Woohoo! Hannah actually signed up as a coach a couple weeks ago, but she didn't get her Shakeology hitting until just now. So it's official, but she's had Hannah for a while. So congratulations to Rachel. Quick reminder, you guys, the new vegan flavors are out. They're available. They made a new vegan barista pack, but in addition to that, they updated all the flavors ingredients. They added those new ingredients to all the flavors. They reformulated all of it. So you guys, there's really good information in your Coach Online office, and you want to go check that out. Dawn made a really good point. If you go back in there and you kind of see the way that they've been formulating it and what they put into it, it makes that price point look a lot better. So make sure you're arming yourselves with that information. UV2 comes out May 16th. Even if you think it looks cheesy, talk it up, because you may have someone in your viewing audience that is desperately looking for something like that. And I think it looks fun. It reminds me of Zumba, and I think I'm going to have fun with it, especially when I get all ginormous and huge towards the end of this pregnancy. So I'm excited for it. Shaun T is announcing his new program this month. And our Team Ripple Effect link has a new landing page. It still has our coach roadmap on it, but then it has other stuff like our team calls and all that good stuff. So we always want to thank Dawn for keeping that stuff handling. She always gives me credit and says, hey, look what we did. We did not ever do that. Dawn always does it. And then she's like, look what I did. I'm going to put it in the page. And then she gives me credit. Dawn, it was Dawn. It was not me. It's very nice of her, though. Before we jump into it, does anybody have any announcements, recognition, or anything they want to share? Go for it. I feel my kids anyway.
So I just wanted to piggyback off of the wait for the Shakeology to go through to turn Emerald. So if you signed up as a coach for the $40 and you haven't purchased Shakeology, then that's what happens. But I just wanted to remind people who might not know that if you had purchased something like the All Access Pack, Challenge Pack back in December, and then randomly you upgraded to a coach by paying the $40, let's say this month, you won't go active until the next Shakeology goes through. But if you send in the form to get the $40 refunded, it doesn't matter how long ago they purchased the Challenge Pack, as long as they purchased a Challenge Pack, in their history, then it does a couple of things. One, they get the $40 back, which is awesome. But two, it also goes back 5 weeks, and if they have a purchase 5 weeks prior, it makes them active status. So in the future, if you have somebody who's been maybe bought All Access and then 6 months down the road wants to become a coach, pays the $40 to become a coach, just make sure that you follow up, get them that $40 refunded, and it makes them active if they've been on Home Direct every single month. So I just wanted to throw that out there if people didn't know that.
Cool. Good reminder. It's always good to make those reminders in case people don't know. And if you don't know, ask, because somebody does. And that is exactly how Hannah signed up. She got the refund from her $40. All that jazz. So Dawn is going to start us off. We're going to talk a little bit about, unless anybody else has anything. Just checking. Bueller. Cool. Melanie's like, I did it last week. You don't have to make me say anything today. That's okay. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Dawn. She's going to get us started with reverse engineering.
Okay, so it sounds super fancy, but basically we're talking about goals again, because every once in a while, periodically, Christine and I will throw out a post asking goals. Taryn throws out posts asking, what are your goals this week, or what are your goals today, or what are your goals this month? And a lot of times we give goal answers that we feel like we're supposed to give, right? Like how many people, we always say, I want to hit SC5, which is kind of funny because it's really hard to hit 5 now, it up 2 points. Not that it can't happen, but usually it's 6 these days. And we say, oh, we want to sign a coach, you know, so we give like those regular answers. But when those questions are being asked, really look at what it is that you want. And then how are you going to get there? Like, it's one thing to say that you want to hit SC5 and sign a new coach, but what are you going to do about it? How are you going to do it? Some people might not have a specific, you know, Success Club goal in mind, but maybe they say, I want to make $200 a week. We'll use numbers because numbers sound more fun like that. You know, like, who doesn't want to make, well, let's make it 100 a week. Let's make it a little bit less. So I want to make $100 a week. How do you make $100 a week? If you're a new coach and you don't have a team, how do you make $100 a week? Melanie, right? So that means if you want to make $100 this week and you don't have a team yet, one, you want to be building your team, but two, you got to sell 2 challenge packs or some combination that's going to get you $100. Okay, 2 challenge packs. Now what do you got to do? How many people do you need to talk to sell 2 challenge packs to this week, right? Maybe you've only sold 1 challenge pack ever. How many people did you talk to? You better at least double it this week in order to get that other challenge. So that's what, when we're talking about reverse engineering, figure out what the goal is and then what are the steps that you need to do to get there. Now, again, depending if you've got like a number goal, a money goal, there's going to be a whole bunch of different ways you can do that. So as you do that, you want to be adding team members so that you can start cycle bonusing. You know, Christine's at the point where she's getting a lot of volume on both sides. She knows exactly how many coaches and coaches people need to have Shakeology Home Direct for her to cycle 10 times to make $180 in a month, right? Because she's a diamond, so she's making $18 a cycle. So as you move up, it's going to be, she doesn't necessarily need to sell a challenge pack this week in order to make $100, but she needs to know where all those things are. You also want to be paying attention, how many Home Direct people do you have? If you have somebody that's on Home Direct every single week, right? That's going to be, now if they're all access, you're going to get $19.50 that next month on that week. So just when it comes to reverse engineering, it's important, one, that you come up with the goals that you want to achieve, not the goals that you think we want to hear, but truly what do you want to achieve? And then what do you need to do to get there? That's the reverse part. And if you need help figuring out what the reverse is, let us know. There are a ton of resources that can tell you. I mean, Christine and I figured it out at one point based on how much we wanted to make, how many times we needed to cycle. And then based on how many times we needed to cycle, what that meant. And I'm not going to lie, it hurt my head, so I stepped away from it. And I looked at the smaller individual goals for each week and each month. So really, that's kind of all I have on reverse engineering. Figure out what it is you want, and then go backwards, and how do you get there? Make sense?
It's really it's not to be complicated. And obviously, everybody's going to have different goals, so they're going to have different benchmarks that they're working towards, but all of those benchmarks have the same steps. It just depends on how long or how much of it you do. So those steps go back to the 4 vital behaviors. Always have, always will. Yes, I'm going to talk about it because if you want to be successful, that's what you have to be doing. When you go to schedule your week around your Beachbody business and around the goals you have in that business, and hopefully you have some if you want to work it, you have to start with your vital behaviors, and that means you have to schedule your week around your workouts and around your nutrition. That means if you have a busy week, you better figure out how to get that in there. If it's 30 minutes earlier in the day or you're staying up late, that's what you have to do. You schedule your day around those vital behaviors because you cannot go invite people without sharing that you are doing the process. Otherwise, you have nothing to stand on, okay? You can't. No one is going to ask someone to help them that hasn't had proof that it's worked, right? That you just don't. So you need to make sure you're doing that as a coach. When can you work out, and do you have your meal plan? And when are you drinking your Shakeology? And then you're sharing that. Then you need to schedule your power hour, and it might be power pockets. It might be chunks of the day. But you also have to make sure in your power hour you know what you need to be doing. What didn't get finished up your last power hour is what you should probably do first, because that happens, and that's okay, and that's life. And then you follow the task list. Don't skip stuff because you're not in the mood. You got to do it. You can tailor the numbers to your goal. For example, we usually follow Taryn's, and it says invite 3 to 5 people. Well, if you're shooting, like if you're going to join that diamond group with Carl and you're shooting for SC20, you're going to have to invite more than 3 to 5 people a day. Sorry, Charlie. That's the way it is. And by the way, it's not going to take that long. But you can break it up. Let's say you're going to do 15 minutes in the morning. So you do your workout, and then right after you sit down, maybe you put your personal development in then, and then you send out the number of invites you need for that day based on the reverse engineering you did that Dawn just told you. And then you turn it off. Maybe you check into your Facebook group, share your workout because you're always a challenger. Then you turn it off, you walk away, and then later in the day you come back and you do the other part of your power hour where you follow up with all those invites, you close with people, you add new people to your friends list, and you check in with your challengers and coaches, and you recognize someone. You've got to do it all, though, and I can tell you from experience, right now, I'm really good at social media, and that's like the only place in my business that I'm super consistent. Everywhere I've really fallen off, and I can tell. But when you put all of those pieces together, it works, and it doesn't happen unless you schedule it. Eric Worre is famous for saying, if you want, I can tell you how successful you are by looking at your calendar. I can tell you by how you've marked out your day, whether or not you're successful based on your goals. If you struggle with this, Chalene Johnson push every dang time. That's what I'm going to say to look at. Look into it. You don't even have to spend a dime. She has all of the information free over her vast varieties of websites. You can figure out how to do it. But at the end of the day, based on that goal you've reverse engineered, you use what Beachbody's already given you to get the job done. You don't need to make it up. The task list is already there. It's there. Just follow it. Schedule your day around it. And now Dawn's turn. Passing it back.
And with that, you guys, like Christine's talked about power pockets, power hour, don't skip steps. We got to do all the steps. But you need to make sure that you're hitting the hard crap first. If you know you hate inviting, that needs to be the very first task you do. You need to do inviting first, because then that's going to get done. When kids start acting crazy, when, husband's schedule changes and comes home early, when, things hit the fan in your house, at least you got your inviting in. Prioritize that list. It's all important, but based on your goals, what is going to get you to your goal fastest? And it's going to be inviting when it comes down to sitting down and doing that power hour. And it's going to be talking about the business and inviting challengers to challenge groups, inviting coaches to the coach opportunity. It's so important that you align. We're talking about, you figure out your goal, you reverse engineer it, you plan your day around it, and then you have to make sure that the tasks line up with those goals. Like Christine said, if you're shooting for SC10, we won't make it as scary as 20. If you're shooting for SC10, how many people are you inviting? And again, look at that dog. She's ready to attack. There might be a goose out there. It needs to align with what your goals are. Again, if your goals are SC10 and you're only inviting 2 people a day, it's not going to cut it. So that's where that's when you need to just make sure that they are aligning. Hold on, let me kick them out.
She's protecting you. She's just cheering you on. She's like, yeah.
I know, because she hears like a truck a million miles away. So anyway, that's basically it. Do you guys? I know that we got a little bit more to talk about, but do you have a question on that, the goal that you have, or how to reverse engineer it, or how to make it make sense? I know Andy's all about goals. He knows how to do that. I know Melanie, you're getting super good at that. Chris, did you have a question or goal that we could help you figure out before we move on to the next step?
I've got all kinds of goals. I just got to implement. I got to do the work. That's the whole key.
Whoa, that's what I'm going to talk about next. Perfect lead-in. Oh, I love it. So we've got.
But before Christine leads into that, that's where it's so important. We know the goal and the reverse engineer, but you say you want to do the work, but now you need to know what work. And now I won't steal anything else that Christine's going to say.
I mean, really, back off. It's my time.
All right, I'm done.
I'm going to mute you. Watch this. No, I'm just kidding.
Do it.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's really easy for us to tell you all these things. It's really easy for us to say, you've got to reverse engineer your goals. So figure out what you want to do. And it's really easy for us to say, schedule your day. If you know what's coming, you've got to do this. And then Dawn says, well, now you got to make your tasks align, but then you sit down and you have all of these things in front of you and you know what needs to be done. And you know you need to invite 5 people today. You know you need to send 5 of those hard messages, but now you have to execute. You have to actually take action. And that's where you have to find it in your heart. And that comes from your passion. Your passion has to drive you. You have to be passionate about whether it's this business, whether it's helping people, whether it's getting your family financially stable, whether it's getting people results. You have to figure out what about this gives you that passion. What is your purpose as a coach in this business? What is your purpose? This is kind of funny. I'm digging mounds down in my front yard, slowly but surely, and I totally broke up a little ant farm. So I chuck the ant farm in the wheelbarrow, and I'm watching them, and they are not stopping. They are not deterred by the fact that I just drove a shovel right through their family's home and took them apart. They care not. And I thought about us in our Beachbody business and how easily we get deterred by shovels. We get deterred by getting bored of it. How often are we just like, God, I'm so sick of the same post every day, so sick of the same workout, I'm so sick of salads. And we get deterred. We get deterred because someone says something mean about our posts or someone tells us we're posting too much. We get deterred because someone says no, or we get deterred because of our own fear that we have inside that is sometimes completely like not real. Like people think people think these things they don't even actually think. It's fake. I like to call it fake fear. That's what I like to call it. But ants don't give a rat's butt. Ants are just there to do what they do because that's their purpose. They have one purpose, and that's to build their tunnels and get the food of the queen. And that's what they do all day, every day. It doesn't matter, and they don't stop. There's nothing you can do to stop an ant unless you set it on fire or squish it. Those are the only ways you stop ants. Even if you drive a shovel in their home. And I want you guys to think about that. When you sit down, as a coach, you have one purpose. Now, it might change as far as a broader aspect as to your heart and your passion, but as a coach, your job is to get people results based on their goals, which means you sit your butt down in your chair and you invite them. You invite them with purpose and you follow up with them and you get in touch with their goals because that's our Beachbody mission. You have those conversations that matter, even when your kids come running through and it's a distraction. You just keep going because as a coach, you have a very definite purpose. And so you have to take action. Because I get it. Nobody gets more than me. Absolutely don't care. Absolutely don't care. As a coach, I understand how easy it is to be inconsistent. But it's not going to get you where you want to go. You have to have a purpose. And then you take action, and that's where you get results. Speaking of those results, Dawn's going to talk a little bit about how to track that.
Because Christine's going to go handle children, I think. Basically, I'm not going to tell you how to track it. I'm going to tell you the importance of tracking this stuff. We talk about it all the time. There are so many different forms. There's so many different options out there. There's services that you can pay to help you track stuff. Lately, I literally got a notebook and a pen and paper, and I write down when I talk to somebody, what I talk to them about, and then I go back to it. And when it comes time to sit down to invite, I can take that out and look at who do I need to follow up with, who's new on my list, and you got to keep adding people to your list. You know, there's some really helpful Beachbody tools. We don't just track who we talk to. We need to be tracking who we're adding to our network. So when you get a new friend request, we need to be tracking those people because that's going to be part of your goals. Again, if your goal is to hit SC5, SC10 every month, you need to continually add people. One of the Oh, Mary's coming in. Hold on, I want to wave. There she is. What's up? So excited to see people's faces. Okay, sorry. So we're going to include the link for the Beachbody. It's the business activity tracker. And it's just a couple simple things that you track every day of the week. And you write down what your goals are for that week. And then you hit the numbers. And guess what? You check them off as you hit them. And it seems so absurd and so easy and so ridiculous. When was the last time you actually tracked what you were doing, right? I mean, think about when the last time was that we did that. And in order to know where your business is, in order for you to be able to successfully reverse engineer your goals, you need to know how many people you're talking to in order to sell a challenge pack. You need to know how many people you've invited to the opportunity before they've said yes. And the only way you're going to do that is to track it. There have been phenomenal national wave calls on tracking. And since I'm living in a camper, I'll include those in the link underneath also. But the simplest, easiest way is going to be the way that works best for you. The business activity tracker worked really well for me for a while, and then I had to switch to pen and paper. And then I tried that stuff, didn't work for me. You've got, she has a simple spreadsheet. She writes stuff down, and then she transfers it to a spreadsheet that she can up on her phone, up on her tablet. And it's a super simple thing. Who did she add to her network? You know, who did she, I can't see all the things that are happening. I'm be done.
You were a robot for just a second. You're good now. For a little bit, you were a robot. You're good now.
I'm done with my tracking stuff. It's all good. I'm
You
done.
don't have to be done. We just, for a little bit, we couldn't really.
No, I'm good. I'm done. We just got to track. That's all. Track. I'm done.
Now we
Darn
can
it. You. I'm done.
repeat some of it.
No, go ahead. You're good. I'll include it in the. I'll include it in the comments.
Mary, I'm so glad you're here.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. That was it. That was all we had. So we are going to open it up to questions, comments, concerns. Chat time. Melanie's like not going to talk because we made her talk last week. She's like, I'm not going to make, you can't make me say anything.
Yeah.
No? Okay. We'd love to have you share your goals in the comments of this thread, and then we'd like to stay accountable as just a team to those goals and to each other and check in regularly on this thread. You know, did you invite some people today? Did you do your personal development? Are you sharing your being a product of the product? Stuff like that. Just because that all aligns with our goals. And then your struggles, like share those with us. Because I'll check in with you guys and you'll tell me your struggles, and that's cool, but don't wait for me to check in with you. If you're struggling, let us know. Let us walk you through it. Share those conversations, share those posts. Share.
I shared my struggles with the world today.
Yes, you did.
You know what? It was like the third time I'd heard it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be like, I don't care.
Whatever.
No, it really
I will
wasn't.
always say I prefer Beachbody to politics any day. Any day. Do you know how many people I've hidden because of politics? I love my news feed now. It's all Shakeology and roses. It's fabulous.
Well, I was with my mom. She went to the FFA banquet last night, and she was like, such and such person was like, geez, does your daughter do anything but work out and post all day long? And I'm like, yes, that's what I do. I work out all day long.
The whole day.
The kids walk home from school. They make themselves dinner. They fold their own clothes, and I just work out the whole time. That's it.
I don't even take time to eat, except my shake. I take my shake, and that is it.
That's it.
All day long, I just work out.
But people say stuff like that because of two things. One is they genuinely just cannot stand it. But usually the second reason is, and this is I think the bigger one, they feel bad about what they're not doing. And you touch them in a place and they're not ready yet. Because I felt that way. I used to be like, oh my gosh, those people. Can't you go to the gym without checking in? Do you have to check in every time you go to the gym? And you know why? Because I felt bad that I wasn't going to the gym. I felt crappy about myself. So I was like, oh, so annoying. That's just what it is. And
Well, the best.
eventually, that specific person probably will be like, gosh, I should get healthy. Who do I know I know who's gotten healthy, and they'll probably reach out to you.
Exactly. You can
Well, the best part is,
now, but you'll come back. Go ahead, Dawn. Sorry.
Yes.
oh no, if they're hating on you, they're still watching.
Exactly.
That's my
They're
favorite
following.
Instagram stories. Because I can see all the people who tell me they don't like what I'm doing, but they watch my story every single day, all day long, come heck or high water. And I'm like, oh, I don't think you hate it as much as you say you do, because you are watching like it's your job.
Yep. Exactly.
We gotta not let the haters bug us.
It was my little 2 cents for the day. I was like, I'm just gonna
That's good. I loved it.
announcement. Hey, it ain't gonna stop today.
That's right. That's right, because you got goals. You got goals. I am so appreciative of you guys for being here and taking time out of your day to sit and let us talk with you. You know, every Monday, Dawn and I sit down and we go, what do we talk about this week? And we bat it back and forth. So if you guys ever have something that you want to talk about, or if you ever want to lead or co-host a team call, please just let us know. I mean, certainly you don't have to listen to us the whole time every Friday. We're happy to share. Even though it's kind of fun to watch us fight like a married couple. I know it is. I know you guys, it's a little entertainment.
My favorite parts on my screen is I'm right in between you and Dawn.
But I do. I'm grateful for you guys being here. You're my happy family. And Dawn needs us because she's lonely in a camper.
Mm-hmm.
In
So,
a van.
can I just tell you one really? Okay.
Hey guys, can I ask a
Yeah.
question about how do you guys do your videos and stuff? Like, I know everybody's posting videos of them working out and stuff. Do you like record your entire workout, or how are you doing that exactly?
So for me, I just turn it on selfie mode, prop it up on my water bottle, and then I'll record just a couple of the moves that I'm doing. And then I don't use anything fancy. I just go right into my phone, cut it to what I want, and then put it right on Instagram. Like, I keep it pretty simple.
Do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android?
I have an iPhone, but even with Android, you can trim in Instagram.
Yeah, I do the Android. I trim it in Instagram.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't even, like, I never see you guys walking up to your phone and turning it on. So I know you're doing some type of editing, but it's like I have no idea how you're doing that.
But
You know what? I'll make a video and put it in and show you how I do it.
Okay.
Dawn, how do you do yours? How you do the clips and then you put them all together?
I do it 2 different ways. I either pre-edit it and then just put it straight into iMovie, take my phone, or I will I'll put it into iMovie and edit it in there.
Okay.
Okay. And then do you use like a selfie stick for your pictures that you take all the time, or you?
Christine has a ghetto selfie stick. I don't use a selfie stick. Like today, my doc thoughts, I propped it up on a log, and so I just prop for photos, and I'll do like if it's a selfie photo, I prop it, and I either make my prop, set up the timer.
Yep, prop and timer is my good old-fashioned 10-second timer.
And when I'm out like before a move, like Christine, like when you're on your like break in between moves, I'll hit record. Sometimes I wait till the workout's totally over because I wanted to see what fun was in it, and then I'll just do 30 seconds of one of the moves from it, like not actually mid-workout. So I'm not really a beast like you think. It's all edited and camera angles.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been wanting to post something like that, but it's like I have no idea how you guys are doing it because, like, I've never used iMovie or any of that stuff, and I just, like, I don't have time to sit down and edit a video, and I'm probably
You just record it.
You can assume that if it's something I'm doing, it's the minimum amount of time possible to get it done, because usually by the time I'm done working out, my kids are ticked. They want my attention back, and so I'm just like, got to get this done, got to get this on. So I try to keep it simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
And show a variety of stuff. Like I had my mom one time criticize because moms are the best at that. And she was like, all you ever show are stuff that's like impossible for normal people to do. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do need to show some of the other regular stuff, which I mix in. But it's funny because it's when I'm doing like things that are really challenging that I get the most responses from people that even in their best shape are never going to be able to do it, but they're like, that motivates me to even try. And I'm like, really? That's kind of weird, but okay. So, like, really just share what you're doing and not try to tailor it to what you think people want to see. Every once in a while, I've shown clips where I literally flipped over and fell on my face trying to do donkey kicks. I happened to catch that one on film. That was a good one. But show just really you and what you're doing. Because you're not trying to sell the product or the program through it. You're just sharing your journey.
Right.
And I know you want to do and do clips from UV too.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'll do it with my big pregnant belly for everyone. Don't worry. I got you covered.
So I found a hidden gem workout, which, there's so much in on-demand, right? But I had a customer who has a bunch of knee pain, so leg workouts, anything with body weight, squats or lunges is super tough, but you don't want to just skip leg day, right? But there's Erica's bar 1 and bar 2 from the 20s are actually really great leg workouts because it's stuff that's up. So you're fighting against your own flexibility and increasing resistance that way. So if you guys have any customers that have knee pain or, where lunges are kind of tough, but they still want to work legs, that's a good workout. And I just discovered it not this week, so I wanted to pass it on to all you guys.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's a good tip.
Did everybody also see, I don't know how many of you followed the live workouts? Not the live. From the live classes, the Pile Live.
Yeah.
They moved those now. They're in the on-demand library. They're just not in one spot. They're under the actual program that they fall on. So if you're looking for those Turbo Jam lines, you got to go into Turbo Jam.
Okay, good.
But they do still exist.
Which is awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to hit stop record and then Dawn can share her story. So thank you guys for being here. Have an incredible Friday. Share your goals in the comments. Boom, fist bump, you.